We have a lot of part-time farmers in Windhoek and across all the towns of Namibia. So AgriBank has been having this program whereby we share information with these farmers that are part-time in the aspects of giving them crucial information via evening sessions where we host an event where we cover a specific topic for 2 to 3 hours just to share the vital key aspects of that specific agricultural
We
venture.
can
So we
proceed.
want people to bridge the gap between the knowledge gap between their farming practices currently and how they can improve and farm as a business. That's the main reason why we have ventured into the introduction of these events between NUST and AgriBank.
And how do these topics, caring for small stock and poultry production, address the current needs or changes faced by Namibian farmers?
You will notice that we just came out of a drought here. So at the moment, a lot of farmers are trying to restock. So we just want them to do it very well, especially with a small stock. We want farmers to understand that farming as a business, you need to control certain items such as planning your breeding schedule,
Just give
ensuring
that
that
time
you have the right
is
number for one male goat to an average of 25 females, maybe over a 2 months period. And then this helps the farmer to understand that if you are able to control breeding, after 5 months, you will be receiving most of your young goats at the same time, and then you prepare them for the market in a very systematic manner. Caring for small stock was prompted by the fact that we just came out of a drought and we are now trying to prepare farmers to ensure that they can increase their livestock numbers. We want to teach them aspects of how to look after your animals in the sense of how to feed them for production and fattening, how to maintain them during times of drought, and how to ensure that they can produce milk and so forth. And also to synchronize breeding to ensure that you get all your small goats and sheep at maybe a certain given period of time. Additionally, the idea of introducing poultry production to the masses is to ensure that it's one of the cheapest forms of protein that you can afford in Namibia, and it's one way even young people that have challenges to access to land, they can easily do some poultry production on a small piece of land, and then it creates employment opportunities and it offers people with cheap food sources. So we are looking at trying to create employment in rural settings and also for peri-urban agriculture. These are ventures that you can bring close to markets such as Windhoek. If you set up a poultry production enterprise and you produce fresh table eggs and you also produce maybe broiler meat, you are able to have a good, reliable market in Windhoek. And this addresses quite a lot of challenges such as food insecurity, food affordability, employment creation, and also income generation by women, youth, and any other Namibian who is interested in working for themselves. That is why we are also trying to introduce these kind of businesses. And also, you will notice that we still import quite a large number of poultry products. So if a lot of Namibians or smallholder farmers come on board and they are registered as poultry producers, it helps the industry regulator to say, look, reduce the number of imports that we have so that people can at least be selling their products, because now we have a lot of people that are now producing these kind of items in the country. So hence why we wanted to venture into these topics for now, and then later we venture into other topics.
And who are the main target audiences for these lectures, and are they more tailored for beginner or experienced farmers?
I would say the audience is quite broad. We invite aspiring farmers, we invite existing farmers, we invite AgriBank clients, and just the general public that is interested in either setting up a small stock farming enterprise that focuses on goats and sheep. Also, we also want to extend the invitation to people that have been thinking of doing some poultry production. And the good thing with our events is that we give a package that covers the general idea of how to start for an aspiring farmer, what to avoid, and for the guys that are already established and existing and experienced farmers, we just address certain market or enterprise challenges that we know exist based on us being farmers and being technical advisors. We blend our experiences and we compare and see what are the common mistakes that most farmers that are experienced make, how does it affect their marketing, how does it affect their loan repayments. So we tailor these kind of experiences to give a package that highlights the key messages. For instance, if one was to look at poultry production, for an experienced and already existing poultry farmer, this training will introduce you to how to have a feed a feed availability program on your farm. How do you buy feed? Do you buy it every day? Do you buy it in bulk? How do you utilize the feed? How much feed must be given to what type of chicken? And if one is producing with the layer hens that produce fresh table eggs, for instance, you will find that a lot of farmers don't have lighting poultry houses to ensure that the hens get extra hours of light from 6 in the evening to around 11 at night, so that the crucial 17 hours that each hen needs to be awake for each day to produce one egg per day is covered. So these are some of the tricks or some of the add-ons that we give during these events to ensure that people comprehensively understand what it takes to raise a goat and understand what it takes to raise a chicken.
And what are the most common mistakes you see farmers make when it comes to small stock or poultry farming?
With small stock, you will see that some farmers neglect the aspect of having a good animal health program that ensures that from January to December, your animals are disease-free, they don't have internal parasites, and also it covers nutritional programs whereby we want you to understand that if a goat, for example, is now pregnant, you must not feed it as a goat that is not pregnant. There should be some extra rations that you give to this goat so it can produce enough milk, and it ensures that the small kid that it's carrying, or if it's a sheep, the small lamb that it's carrying has access to good milk. And also we want farmers to understand the importance of cleaning crows when the small stock about to give birth, the importance of vaccination, the importance of safe shelters for your animals. With poultry, we just want people to understand that as a business, your biggest cost in poultry production will be feed, and you must also understand that how do you buy feed to ensure that at least for 2 months, you are not able to go to the market to buy feed. For 2 months, you must just focus on producing. And after these 2 months, you have collected enough money that you can use to buy feed. And then this feed is bought in bulk. So you just focus on production. Instead of buying every 2 days, you are buying a bag of feed and you send it to the farm. It ends up exaggerating or extending your costs. So that's why we are trying to share this kind of crucial information to make sure that at the end of the day, as a farmer, you will go home, you will reflect and say, my common mistakes are A, B, C, D. From the lectures that I attended, or from the AGRIBANK events that I attended, I was able to pick this and this and this as a tip that I can implement in my farming business for me to perform better. So you will see there's quite, like now we are in winter, a lot of farmers that didn't vaccinate their poultry beds, they have started experiencing Newcastle disease, infectious bronchitis, infectious coryza, gumboro diseases, which also lower their production, creating food shortages and losses of incomes. So this is why we are thinking of such priority areas to share information with people that are really in these ventures.
And what makes small stock and poultry farming such important focus areas in today's agricultural landscape?
Well, looking at the Namibian farming landscape, we are predominantly a livestock producing country. Therefore, it's crucial for us to know that most of the products that we produce, especially south of the veterinary cordon fence, which is the red line, we have an advantage to send these products to export markets such as the Middle East, such as Botswana, such as South Africa, such as Zambia, Angola, and all these other countries that we trade with. So this makes it a crucial industry for farmers to understand that we need to do these things right. We need to produce large quantities, good quality animals that can fetch good foreign export prices. And in so doing, we create employment opportunities in Namibia. We are able to contribute to the country's food security and also generate sustainable incomes that can push up the agriculture sector's contribution towards GDP. With poultry, we are still a net importer of poultry production. If you look at an example of Kadila poultry, which was recently introduced, the country is now in a position to create local jobs, offer the local markets with a local produced product that is affordable. And in that sense, you will see over time, if we encourage a lot of farmers to focus on these enterprises, even with land limitations, you might need just 50 square meters of land to set up a poultry production enterprise. This enterprise can feed into government existing programs such as the school hostels. You supply them with eggs and broiler meat. Already a young person or a woman in a rural area is now in a business setup where they are able to cater for this need, and they, in so doing, over time, they can now start stimulating local rural economies by creating employment opportunities, making money from this business. And over time, if we are able to group all these smallholder farmers and prepare them to produce collectively, the country might reach a point where we have enough food for ourselves in the country, and in future we can start exporting these products to complement the beef, the grapes, the dates, and the blueberries that we produce in abundance in the country.
And what kind of turnout are you expecting for these sessions?
Well, for these sessions, the average numbers for Windhoek range between 70 to about 126 people per session. And I would encourage most farmers that are part-time farmers and those that are aspiring farmers and AGRIBANK clients that these events are for free. We don't charge you anything. You must just come to the event. You might pick very crucial information. And I think the venue we will use can accommodate quite a large number of people at NUST. So we really extend this invitation to all people in Windhoek to come and attend today's evening session.
Any final words for the public that are listening right now?
I would urge the Namibian nation to understand that farming is something that has been part of our existence. It's like the core of our economy, the backbone of our economy, in the sense that directly and indirectly, it still remains the highest employer. And it's one sector where we depend on it 3 times a day. So all of us have a role to play in this sector. So the public is encouraged that please come to such events. We will have quite a number of events in all the regions for this financial year. When you see an advert that says free AGRIBANK training session, please, we are not saying whether you are a client of AGRIBANK or whether you are a farmer who is just trying or aspiring. You must not come to these events. Everyone is invited in your own capacity as an individual to come and share your farming experiences with us. And if you have questions, you can always ask us those questions and we see how we can go about them at these events.